When people hear that I'm a 5-MeO Bufo facilitator, they often have a lot of misconceptions about what I do. Some think it's just about getting high or that it's some kind of party scene, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Bufo is a powerful tool for spiritual growth and deep healing, and it requires a tremendous amount of respect and care. Another challenge that I face is the stigma surrounding Bufo and its legal status in some countries. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and it can be super frustrating to deal with people who don't understand what I do or who think it's illegal or unsafe. Despite these challenges, I know that my work is making a difference in people's lives. I've seen it time and time again, people coming to me broken and lost and leaving with a sense of peace and clarity that they never thought possible. It's an honor to be a part of that process. My days are always filled with a mix of preparation, ceremony, and integration. I spend a lot of time studying and learning about the medicine, as well as working with people to prepare them for their ceremonies. The actual ceremonies themselves can be intense and emotional, but they're also incredibly beautiful. Seeing people break through their fears and limitations is truly an honor. The most challenging part of my job is probably dealing with the emotional toll of working with people who are struggling. It can be really, really heavy at times, and it requires a lot of self-care and boundaries to avoid burnout. But it's worth it. Every time I see someone's face light up with a newfound sense of freedom or peace, it reminds me of why I walk this path. My path is not just about the medicine itself, but about the connection and community that it fosters. Seeing people come together and support each other in their journeys is truly the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. As I look back on my journey as a Bufo facilitator, I'm reminded of the importance of my role in guiding others on their paths. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Every time I see someone heal, grow, or find peace, it reminds me of the power and significance of this work. So let's talk about the life of a Bufo facilitator. Basically, being a Bufo facilitator means guiding people through their experiences with the Bufo alvarius toad medicine. It's a pretty unique gig, let me tell you. When I was little, I never thought to myself, I'm going to help people smoke toad venom when I grow up. But it goes so much further than that. Because really what I'm doing is I'm creating a safe space for people to embark on one of the most profound and important journeys of their lives. It's a journey back to self. The experience with Bufo is truly a remembrance more than anything. We return to the energy that created us. We are reminded that we are infinite and eternal beings simply having a physical experience. Sometimes it sinks in and I realize that I've been appointed to carry and serve the God molecule. And then I'm overcome with so much gratitude that I can't help but cry. When people ask me how I found Bufo, I tell them that Bufo found me. It literally fell in my lap. I had never tried other psychedelic substances before I sat with this medicine for the first time, and I had no plans to. The first time I sat with Bufo 5-MeO DMT, I went to a retreat in Mount Shasta with my boyfriend at the time, and the story that I was telling myself was that I was there to support him. It wasn't until minutes before the shaman approached me with the medicine that it had been made very clear by spirit that I was supposed to sit with it. Sometimes spirit works in such magical ways that the synchronicities become so obvious that they just can't be ignored. This was one of those situations, and the language of Bufo is synchronicity. My ego was still hanging on right before I took the medicine in when I looked at the shaman in a desperate attempt to control the situation, and I told him, okay, I'm gonna take in one long, slow inhale and then I'm gonna lay back. And he said, okay, and that's what happened. My intention was to know what it was like to embody the consciousness of Christ. The moment the medicine began to work, I returned back to the womb. I heard my heartbeat, and I even heard swishing sounds like how you would hear on an ultrasound. In this moment, I became nothing more than innocent awareness. I felt myself being embraced and held by Christ, and the only thing I could see was the golden light. I was looking at God. I realized that the energy that was before me was the exact energy that created me. This energy was me. This was without a doubt the most impactful and profound day of my life. I called my sister crying after the experience was over. I can't really put words to it, but the best way I can describe it is it's what happens when we're born and it's what happens when we die. So it's like I remembered what that felt like when I was born. And it's like so powerful. and words can't describe it. So it's basically like an encounter with God, knowing that you are a part of God. You are a part of that energy. You are that energy. So yeah, it was like the definitely most powerful thing that has ever happened to me, besides when it did happen when I was born. I had been forgiven, resurrected, and reborn into light. My then boyfriend and I immediately knew that we had to get this medicine to the rest of the world. 3 weeks later, we were pulling up in the parking lot of a medicine church in Huntsville, Texas called USNT, or Universal Shamans of the New Tomorrow. This is where we sat with the medicine almost every day for 6 weeks and learned how to facilitate. The training was basically a shamanic boot camp, and although it wasn't easy, I'll forever be grateful to my instructor for teaching me and showing me what it means to be a shaman. And that is a lot of unconditional love. The reason I love this path is because you get to witness some truly life-changing moments as people journey through their spiritual awakening. The stories and insights that come out of these sessions are mind-blowing. Being a part of and a witness to someone's profound transformation is such an honor, and sometimes I wonder how I got so lucky. And then Bufo always shows me that my soul signed up for this gig, and my destiny is to fulfill the 500-year Bufo prophecy that began in 1521 and goes all the way back to the Mayans and Aztecs. The prophecy says that anyone who comes to the medicine the 5 years before and the 5 years after the fulfillment of the prophecy date, which was 2021, is meant to bring the medicine to the rest of the world. Sometimes I wonder if this could be connected to the 144,000 oversoul, the blue rays, indigos, crystals, and star seeds. I know that I'll do all I can to carry my knowledge down to my daughter and open the door for her to choose this path or whichever path her soul desires. In the last year, I've served more people than I can recall. It has to be in the hundreds by now. This medicine has brought me across the country twice to Michigan and Ohio, as well as Idaho, Nevada, and all over Northern California, from San Francisco to Fresno to Mount Shasta and Humboldt County. When I travel to do a ceremony, I'm always overcome with this profound intuition that the frequency of the medicine is healing the land. The best part of being a Bufo facilitator is when I get to see the looks on people's faces when they break through. It's like watching someone walk through the pearly gates of heaven. It's truly that magical. But it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It can be intense and emotionally draining at times. You have to hold space for people as they confront their fears and reevaluate their lives. It takes a lot of patience and empathy to be a good facilitator. However, the rewards are endless. Seeing someone come out of a Bufo session with a newfound sense of clarity and purpose is incredibly rewarding. It makes all the challenges worth it. So if you're thinking about becoming a Bufo facilitator, just know that it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. It's a journey full of ups and downs, but one that will change your life forever. It's not a job or a career that you can just pick out of a college catalog. It's a way of life that takes a lot of courage, compassion, and unconditional love. Shamans and medicine facilitators have to always stay on top of their spiritual, emotional, and physical health, because whatever frequency we are vibrating in will absolutely be carried into the ceremony space. It's a constant path of self-awareness, in the journey of learning and healing and evolving never ends. Thanks for joining me on this journey into my life as a Bufo facilitator. If you've had any experiences with Bufo or have questions about this sacred medicine, please leave them in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about my work and the magic of Bufo, be sure to check out my other videos for more insights. I love you all. Thank you for sharing this path with me. Aho.